All right, everybody, we are live. This is David from Red Wagon Dioramas. Thank you for joining us tonight. And we have a live stream tonight to kind of talk about ChrisCon, which was last Sunday, July 30th in Milford, Massachusetts. So I've got Chris from ChrisCon and Jeremy and Kenny Rusty on here with us tonight. And we just want to say hi to everybody. So say hi, guys. Introduce yourselves.
I'm Chris, also known as The Collector 77. I should have probably put that on my little name tag there and didn't realize that was going to show up there.
You can hit the little three dots on your screen down there and change your name.
Oh, and change it. Okay. Yeah. All right.
So,
I'm Jeremy, aka Hooded Figure Collector.
I'm Rusty, God of War Custom.
All right, cool. So, we just wanted to kind of take some time tonight. It's been, 6 days since the show, and we were all completely wiped out. I was completely wiped out. You guys were too, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It was a lot, but I
went through 4 Monster Energy drinks, man. What are you talking about?
So
I passed out.
In a few minutes, Chris is going to talk a little bit about the show and kind of give a kind of an overview. For those of you who don't know about what ChrisCon was and weren't there, we'll give a kind of synopsis of that so that hopefully you guys know about it next year and can come next year. And then we're going to talk about just some of our favorite, moments from the show. And we'll probably talk about the Terradrome diorama for a little bit, which you can see is behind Chris in the background there. And then we'll take any comments, questions you guys have in the chat. So please leave your comments, say hi, let us know where you're coming in from, and let's start there. So Chris, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about ChrisCon, like a 2-minute rundown?
Yeah. So ChrisCon. So it was actually the 4th year we've done it. So we actually started in 2019, and I kind of started a little collector group sort of in the basement of some buddies coming over, and I said, hey, how about we all get together and do a meetup and invite some people on Instagram and do like a sort of an open house. So the first one we did was back in 2019. We had it at a local comic shop. We got like 20 people. We wanted to do it again in 2020, but COVID happened. So we did it again in 2021, and we wound up doing it like in my backyard, like in the driveway and, behind the house. And in my garage, we had stuff in the garage. We had the dioramas there. We had the custom figure contest. That was the first year we did the custom figure contest. We had all the interactive dioramas that year. We had the lights and everything. And then last year in 2022, I said, hey, that was okay. Let's see if we can get a bigger turnout. And that's when we started doing it at like a hotel ballroom. We did it in Taunton. And then this year we did it obviously at the DoubleTree. But the whole thought behind it was to do like a collector meetup where we could bring in fellow collectors, and we could also have some vendors and sell some stuff, but we were also doing some interactive stuff. Like we had, like this year we had the whole wall of, like 20 dioramas that you could bring your own figures and put them in and take pictures. We did a whole bunch of contests. We did the custom figure contest. We had like 60 entries this year in the custom figure contest. We had the custom diorama contest, which I don't even know how many entries we had. I got to figure it out, but we had a lot this year. We had a photography contest. Then we have a huge display area where if you weren't there, we built a huge G.I. Joe display. Dave, who, really thanks going out to you for, you brought all your Star Wars dioramas that were a huge hit, that were amazing. We also had Kenny there with his Mythic Legions diorama that he has there behind him on the table. And we also had a couple other miscellaneous things. We had Galactus, we had a Sentinel, we had a couple of Galacti. And then we also do a bunch of games and giveaways. So on the stage, I'm like kind of doing a couple of different games with people. We did a action figure trivia. We did name that action figure that Jeremy participated in and did win. You did win it, right? Yeah, he won it. He pulled it out in the end. And then we did What's in the Box, which, there's some videos online if you don't know what that is, but check that out. And then we also had the Q&A this year. We added the Q&A. We had Steve Evans there from Hasbro, and he was really gracious enough to do a Q&A with the audience. So it's not just like when you go and it's all vendors and you're just buying stuff like a shop. It's like you're there to like, you're meeting other collectors. You're seeing a lot of different things. There's displays, there's interviews, there's industry people. We also had a a bunch of stuff donated this year. Maybe I'll hand it over to Jeremy to talk about, some of the stuff that you were able to wrangle for the show.
Yeah. So this year, I mean, having that first year under our belt last year, like being really official, we started reaching out to some smaller brands, like non-mainstream brands. The brands, Chris has always said it's a great show to come and see things that you're not necessarily going to see on your Target or Walmart shelves. So we focused on those brands that we've got product from before and we love, and seeing if we could help get them some exposure. So we got Zestre Studios sent us the prototypes for the Minotaurs, which are releasing later this fall. Those were a huge hit. They were mold and paint samples, but they still gave people the perception of what they would be getting this fall. We got some T-shirts from Full Counter T-shirts, who gave us some Galactus T-shirts to go with our displays. Super Action stuff donated supplies so that we could put them out in the diorama area as well as the as in gifts. So we got to kind of support the brand but also getting to use it and getting some stuff in customers' hands. And then Detour Custom, Steph was able to work with J-Kai Toys and Axie Toys to be able to bring in the cloth version or some prototype cloth for Veteran Williams, the Foo-Ray Toys werewolf, and he brought in the dinosaurs from Axie Toys for display and for giveaway. So they were really, really gracious and generous in terms of what they sent so that we could show it to consumers who haven't yet seen it and are curious about it in hand, but then also give it away to a few people.
Yeah, that was awesome. Hey, let's hit up the chat for a sec here, guys. We got a bunch of people in the chat. We got Dan from, Dan, I'm going to butcher the name, but Yokai, I'm going to say Customs. Dan was there. I met him. He entered a bunch of customs. And yeah, Dan, you said you live in Troy, New York. So that was really cool to meet you. And see who else we got here. Oh, so Dan's, we'll get to the questions here in a little bit, but Dan's asking, how did this year compare to last year? That's a great question. We got KJ Smith, had a great time 2 years in a row. Awesome. That's cool to hear. Arthur Henderson, he's one of the my Star Wars collector buddy. He lives in Alaska, actually. So it's good to see you, Arthur.
And you got to come here next year.
Yeah, make the trip.
It's Bruno.
Cross country on a dog sled.
Chris, you don't want to take the show on the road?
Oh, we'll have the Anchorage ChrisCon.
Yeah. We got Wilfredo, Pork Chop. He's here.
Hey. Wilfredo.
Oh.
Good to see you, man.
Pork Chop.
Desert Hunter 83. That is my friend from Phoenix, Jeremy. So it's good to see you, Jeremy. Thanks for tuning in. And Wilfredo gives you the high five. Look who this is. Duarte.
Hey, buddy.
Good to see you, man.
Brian.
Duarte won. Yeah, that's, oh man, what's your first name?
Superstar of the show.
I think it's Brian, right?
Brian. Yep.
Yeah, Almedo, right? Yeah. Won the customs contest and the diorama contest.
Bravo.
Amazing work.
Amazing.
Yeah. You okay? Love the Star Wars dials. Yeah, cool. Mando Mike says, would have been cool to see you. Hey guys. Man, yeah, Mike's he's another Star Wars collector I know out. I think you're out in the Midwest somewhere. So let me just run through these. Yeah, Toy Father. Hey Chris.
Chris, how you doing?
What's up?
Chris and Santi No Chewing were very helpful, got involved with the show, helped with the setup, did the whole tribute to Ryan, Tuscan Traders.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. Wilfredo says, seeing everyone just being there for me, I felt good for the first time in a while. The table for Ryan. Yes, table for Ryan. Yeah. I had a blast. The energy was fantastic, says Toy Father. Oh, and Jeremy wants to see our pickups from the show. I do have some pickups that I put out that video a couple days ago, but I haven't opened everything. So like I've got my Valaverse and some other things to open up. All right. Duarte says, thanks guys. Really appreciate the opportunity. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, thanks for entering, man. Those things were
Yeah.
that diorama is awesome. If you're thinking about selling that too, let me know, man. Let me know. That would look great in here, man. I would love that.
Yeah. Jason's trying to get into here. And Sharon was the biggest help with Ryan's table. Yes, of course, Sharon, for sure. Yeah. We had a
It was
table
great to
set up.
see their whole crew there.
Yeah. And Manny and Finn there for a while too. So that was all in memory of our friend Ryan, who passed away unfortunately last year. So we had a table set up for him there. Awesome toy photographer. All right, so let's get into some of these. Like, I want to hear like kind of highlights of the show from you guys. Like Chris, what was it for you that you just really stood out for you this year?
I just thought the amount of people that I recognized, like from online, like Articulated Ninja was there. You know, there were just a bunch of people that showed up. That Yimbo reviews everything, you know, that I watch on TV or on YouTube and stuff. It was just interesting to see the amount of people. And then Chris showed up too from Four Horsemen Studios. He was there. I was talking to him for a while. I think it was just really cool to see all the different, you know, people that you see on either YouTube or Instagram that were actually there, and they were all talking to each other, you know. And then of course we had Steve Evans from Hasbro. We had, you know, Dan Larson, you know, Secret Galaxy, Toy Galaxy was there. Sir Dork, right? You know, Jared with his photography. He's another one that I follow all the time. It was just so cool to see all those people in one place and everyone interacting with each other. You know, I think that was the biggest takeaway for me.
Yeah, that was really cool. For me, it was all the community. Same thing. I really like just getting together and talking with other folks and seeing everybody.
Yeah. I feel lame that I don't have, like, I've been thinking about it for the last week of like, is there a moment? And it's not. It was just that communal feeling. Like, you just stood in that room and there was a very good vibe of what was going on. And I think to Chris's point, there's a little bit of a who's who in the toy community that made it up and made it out there. But I mean, people appreciating other people's work, just getting to chat and hang out. Going back to Ryan, Jason, I'm glad you got your human face on.
I think we need to give Jason a moment to say hi because he's hamming it up there.
Fiendish Figure Workshop.
Jason, introduce yourself.
Jason, I make custom toys. I'm Fiendish Figure Workshop. Sorry I'm a little late, guys. Sorry I'm being weird.
Nah, awesome to have you.
I'm glad you were able to join us. We were just kind of breaking down the show for those who didn't know about ChrisCon or what it was like, and for those, you know, just kind of giving a summary recap and then kind of sharing some of our favorite moments.
It was also neat too. Some of the vendors, we had Almighty Legends was there, you know, with some of his stuff. I looked at one, you know, he had I think it was a prototype, right, of one of the figures there on his table. And Bill Dorklayer was there too. You know, again, just, you know, like you said, Jeremy, just a bunch of people from the community, you know, meeting fans and talking to people, and it was really good.
Yeah, I think I love the level of creativity that goes into this show. Like the lead time we had on it made a big difference this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like we put a lot more lead time into preparing for the show, creating the dioramas, getting all the different games together. Chris, you're the superstar on that one. Just kind of, I said it before. Every circus needs a ringmaster. That's exactly right, though. We needed someone to kind of. There's a lot of artists in this group, and there are times when we need to be dialed in so we can get to the point of what we're trying to do here, and that's created an awesome show for all you guys out there. And I'm really, like, when I walked out into the hallways prior to the show and I got to see everybody lined up, they're all excited to just walk in the doors, and that was an awesome feeling, having worked so hard on all these different projects for you guys.
But also they're able to participate too. Like, I know Wilfredo, who's up here, he brought a couple of his customs too that were awesome. He did like the Barf the dog from Spaceballs there, and a couple others that he had entered. So, you know, people were able to be a part of it, you know, put their stuff on display, which I thought was really cool. You know, and like you said, you know, people had enough notice this year. I think last year we didn't start advertising until maybe 2 months before.
Right.
You know? So
Yeah, last year's show came together in about 6 weeks of time. It was cool.
Yeah.
Jason, what did you really enjoy about the show? What was your kind of highlights for you?
Mostly being able to interact with people, being able to show things that I've done, as well as be able to answer questions. Like, I guess just generally the atmosphere itself and being able to interact with other artists. So it was really fun.
Yeah, I want to encourage everybody, if you're not on Instagram, or you can, most of like Jason's work, go follow him on Instagram. Follow all of us, put the handles in the notes later. But yeah, there's some awesome pieces that you did, Jason. It was really cool.
Thank you.
Also, if anybody's watching this, if you have photos of the show, post them on Instagram or on Facebook. Use hashtag ChrisCon or hashtag ChrisCon23. We'd love to see your pictures. As many pictures as we can get out there. I was looking back. Another thing on that note too. Just want to thank my brother Bobby, Willow Hill Photography, he took over 800 pictures. So I'm sorting through those now. He put like 450 up, and I'm going to be posting a bunch of them over the next couple of days, and I'll give you guys a whole bunch. You can look through them too. He's got pictures of everybody, which is great.
Yeah, Bobby commented now.
It's pretty amazing.
That's cool. Jeremy, did you share your highlights, or I can't remember?
Yeah, I was just like, it was the lame answer of the communal feeling.
Oh,
it was just just the overall
Like
vibe.
the bathrooms were so close; they were right across the hall.
and you sold some stuff, right, Jeremy? You were running a table, so you had a ton of stuff for sale.
I did okay. Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, we had vendor tables too. Chris, how many vendor tables? Some like 20 or something like that?
We had 46 total.
Oh, 46. Wow.
We had 31 vendors, 31 individual, because some of them had multiple tables. Some people just had one, some people had multiple. So we wound up with about, it was like over 30 vendors. So it was good.
Yeah. So, and I think, it's important to, like, that's what I like about the show too, is it's all action figures, right? It's all action figure focus, as opposed to a typical
autographs or, that kind of stuff, or a lot of just stuff that's not non-action figure. We're trying to focus on action figures. That's the one thing, for next year, we basically sold out tables in the first 2 months. I think by like March or April, we were kind of sold out with tables, or by May. And I know a lot of people towards the end in the last 2 months were asking about tables. So, we're kind of limited with space with the area we had. So, that would be something for next year to try to get so we can fit more vendors in. Probably, we'd probably double the amount of vendors at least.
That'd be awesome.
Robert says hi. Great job on the event. We had a great time. Thanks, Robert. And then Dan from Yokai Custom says, I've been interacting with Dan Larson for years. I've done a few customs for him, so it was great to finally meet and chat a little bit. Yeah, I bet that was. If you sent him some customs, that's pretty cool.
Hey, Rob, thanks for the photos. That was your brother, Chris.
And there's Bruno. Hey, Bruno.
Bruno. Hey, Bruno.
Bruno is our other team member. He's just not feeling a little under the weather tonight. So Bruno worked on the big G.I. Joe diorama quite a bit. So it was pretty cool.
One of the things we should say too is, guys, a big thank you to Steve Evans, Mr. Stevie 18. He ran a raffle. He raffled off a Marvel Legends Galactus for charity for Save the Children. He raised almost $700, which was amazing. But he also participated in the Q&A, and he also sponsored the custom figure contest this year. He gave out his Toy Fan Talent Trophy, and he also one of the prizes for that was a tour of that, or walk around the Hasbro headquarters with him, which was really cool, as well as like a Dr. Mindbender, and I think he threw in something else too at the end. But he was really a great add to the show this year. Just a really great guy, really generous person, and really want to thank Steve. So if you don't follow him, follow Mr. Stevie 18 on Instagram. Just really great guy and very insightful in the industry. But he heads up Marvel, the design and development piece for Marvel at Hasbro.
Yeah, I mean, having Stevie there and the prize package that he offered was, I think, what brought some of our most talented guys or artists in. I mean, One Oak came up from Maryland. 978 came out. He was making a bid. So there was a huge piece of what got people enticed to come to the show from an artistic perspective, artistic and competitive perspective.
I was thinking next year we need to even out the scales between the dioramas and the customs, because as far as prizes, because Steve threw it. Did you hear what he threw in at the end? He's like, oh yeah, and I have an extra Sky Striker in my office. You can
I'm just gonna take it off my table and give it to you.
And a $50 gift certificate.
I know.
So you got some money to make more dios, and you got a Mezco.
Yep. But Duarte Studios won both of them anyway, right? So
right.
I certainly appreciated it last year.
Yeah.
We'll have to find someone who works at Home Depot and they can tour the foam section together.
Yeah. There you go.
I was just thinking a big foam board. Foam board. Damn expensive. Would have been awkward.
So we got a few more comments here. We got Robert saying, "You're welcome. I ran around the room a lot to keep up with all the action." Yeah.
Oh, is that Bob? Bobby?
Yeah.
Oh, that's your brother.
That's my brother.
Yeah, that's Bobby.
Hey, thank you, Bobby.
Yeah, you did awesome.
You heard me earlier. I was thanking you for taking all the pictures, man. Big thank you to Bob Gerard, Willow Hill Photography. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. He took over 800 photographs, which we are sorting through now.
Yeah, Yokai Custom says, I appreciate how supportive Steve was to some of the kids that asked questions, encouraging them to do customs and start small. That was a good, he did a few Q&A questions. That was fun.
Yeah, it was interesting that Steve didn't get any really tough questions. I was kind of worried that someone was going to be like, what's the next HasLab? Or him about, some of the other HasLabs and things. And none of that really came up as far as I remember. But I want to ask him what the next HasLab is going to be.
The next HasLab for Marvel is going to be Giant Man. Has to be.
Giant Man?
Giant Man. I want Fin Fang, and I don't know.
Nicholas, hey guys, I had such a great time at the event. I'm amazed at the planning and preparation that went into it. It was a truly joyous experience. Thanks for the opportunity to participate. That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool.
Just also shout out to my sister-in-law, Lori, too, Bobby's wife, who helped up front with all the ticket sales and everything, and the raffles, and she was up on stage. Another amazing helper, from my family who came out and supported the show. She was there last year too. But thank you so much, Lori. Really appreciate you. And also to Christy too, who's upstairs vacuuming right now.
Definitely.
I mean, I think we owe all our families a huge thank you. The amount of time that we've all sacrificed for this, and whether or not they were at the show or just help or allowing us time or supporting us in other ways. Like I had my mom and my aunt working my table with me, which was awesome just to have them with me. And then, I mean, just, my wife giving me time to do it. Like I took the whole weekend, like away from responsibility basically. So
Your mom had some great deals, Jeremy. You weren't at the table. She's like, yeah, $1 every figure. I was like, wow.
That's why so much went away.
I had a similar thing with my daughter and her friend. They went all out. They were awesome. I couldn't have done that without them helping out. I wanted to mingle this year. Last year I didn't get a chance to as much. This year I really didn't want to be stuck at a table. I wanted to move around, interact with people, get to know more people in the community. I'm really good with faces. I'm really bad with names. So I like getting right up and talking to people, seeing their artwork, seeing what they're doing, what makes them tick, what they love about the community. My kid and her best friend made it so much easier for me to do that. So I was really thankful for that.
Well,
yeah,
if I can interject for a second, and as far as thank yous and stuff, I mean, I have to say that, like, I couldn't have got anything done at my table without the help of my wife, my kids. Like, seriously, the amount of effort. Like, the last 6 months, our entire living room has been a thunderstorm, like chaos from me working, paying like every chance I get. So I have to say that's probably one of the biggest things I'm thankful for from all of this is that I have so many people supporting me. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and your stuff was awesome, Jason. I can't tell you how many people commented that you're about your table and your stuff. You know, whether they're referencing you by your name or Peanut
right.
Shop. Like, you have some amazing stuff, man. You got to get more pictures, get it out there, and get it in the community, man, because they really reacted well to what you had on that table.
Yeah.
It's coming this week. I promised Jess that I would take a week off because after we got done with the convention that day, I crashed for like 12 hours. I'm not going to lie.
Yep.
I fell asleep and I did not wake up till like 9:30 the next morning. So
Yeah.
But we're going to get that at some point this week, and I can't wait to show some of the stuff. So.
But hey, before I forget, guys, just a big shout out to Dan Larson. You know, Hidden Galaxy,
Yes.
Galaxy. He was great. He was there all day at his table. He was a really good sport. He came up and he played What's in the Box with us, which was fantastic. You know, I had an idea like, I don't know, 6 weeks ago. I was like, oh, maybe he could do his top 10 so far live on stage. And then literally like the next day he like posted it. And I was like, ah. But maybe next year we'll try to sneak that in. That would be cool for him to do his the thing he does where he pulls the figures out and have his top 10, you know, revealed there for like midway through the year, you know, if he's willing to do it. I don't know.
Chris, was that
he's, you know, again, very generous with his time, really, you know, talked to a whole bunch of people out there, had a nice, you know, bunch of stuff on his table there. He had his, like, the skull helmet with the siren on top there and everything that you always see in the background on his show. But really great guy, very generous with his time. And we really appreciate him coming to the show this year and being a participant in the show.
I liked seeing Bobby Valla brought the Vanguard too. That was awesome. I mean, he had such a huge inventory there. People were stoked. They were lined up just to get a chance to see that thing. What an amazing piece.
Yeah, it was all painted up too. The beige, the one he showed before was just the prototype, right? Gray, and I think this was painted. It looked great. That beige, desert camouflage color was really cool.
Yeah, I guess he's got some voting thing going on to see what other colors you might want on his website.
I think black will win. I saw that Black Ops thing's got to come out.
Yeah, definitely to give you that Merc feel, that, you know, third-party military.
Yeah, I think that was the first time he had that painted version for show. So that was pretty cool. Did you guys get to see the ghillie suit guy?
No.
No.
I saw it after. I saw it in your video, Dave.
Yeah, I asked Bobby. I just like, hey, Bobby, do you have one of the ghillie suit guys here? And he dug it out of one of his boxes, and he just let me just look at it for 10 seconds or whatever. But man, it looked cool. I thought it looked really awesome. So I'm looking forward to seeing those come out.
I just love this display where he's got like 3 tables, just figure after figure after figure, all lined up. They're all out with all the accessories. Where sometimes people just bring them, they're all in the box. And he's got all the display ones where you can see the actual figure and everything that comes with it, and take pictures of them too. If you can't buy them all, at least you can go take pictures. And like we were talking before the live stream started, he had that exclusive one, Dave, that you got, the
Eclipse.
Yeah, that
right here.
Oh, Warpath Eclipse. Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm going to open this up tonight, so we'll see what it's
definitely something
like.
I wanted to get that didn't come to fruition.
Do any of you guys have this one?
No.
Dan probably does, huh?
Shopping. I wish I could have, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Dan's away watching wrestling right now or something. So more important than this.
SummerSlam.
Yeah. Big wrestling.
Sorry, so I want to make sure we highlight this comment from I'm assuming it's Brian and not one of his teammates, but he said that he typically he has an agreement with Home Depot where he buys their broken or junk foam at a special price and encourages people to talk to their local manager at Home Depot. And I think that that's like a big thing too, that just things don't happen if you don't have those conversations. So that's just a huge tip that, I mean, I personally wouldn't have thought of. I'm not super big into dial, but knowing how deep Rusty's trying to dive in, I feel like he's gonna go start smoozing some people.
I've definitely I actually saw that video he posted on his page. I've definitely schmoozed a few people at Home Depot and Lowe's. Sometimes it works, sometimes not. You know, trying to get those bigger sheets. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You go back to the ones where it does.
Foam keeps getting more and more expensive, like everything else.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
All right, who's this? This is John. Yeah, everything was spectacular. You guys did a great job. Can't wait till next year. That's awesome. Thank you, John.
John is a planning person, and I think I speak for all five of us. We all can't wait until next year, and yet we can wait.
Yeah, we certainly need a little decompression.
So I suggest we, for next year,
hour window to get everything ready, and we did it. I was like so worried because that wedding was the night before, and we only had 4 hours. And by 8 o'clock, I mean, we were in great shape. I mean, and thank you guys. I mean, everybody helped out. Everyone went to different areas and worked on things. I started looking around the room, and I'm like, that's done, that's done. It was just all came together, and it was great.
I had no idea what I was doing.
Chris and Cindy came through in the clutch. Like they didn't help us plan, but they've been huge supporters of ours. And the fact that they came through at 6 a.m. to come in and just help us set things up, and were willing to just be like, yeah, just tell us what to do. And they were helping out all over the place. So huge props to No Chewing and Toy Father. That was massive.
Definitely.
Yeah, just segueing off of that, I was extremely thankful seeing Brian's family there, seeing his son running around, just so happy, so full of joy, you know, surrounded by people that have been supportive of that whole situation. It's so unfortunate, you know, being a father myself, and I'm sure, you know, you guys all feel the same way. It was difficult last year after that. And seeing that support in our community, in our group specifically too, that gave me a lot of joy.
Yep.
Wow.
Here's the best comment of the night. I agree with Bobby. No more concrete blocks.
Oh,
I was lucky enough to get those this year.
no.
That's all I've been able to come up with.
No concrete blocks. And we need to invite Brad Pitt next year so we can have him to play What's in the Box.
Oh, jeez. Oh, boy.
For those who don't know,
it'll be fun.
Are you gonna work on a paper mache Gwyneth Paltrow head?
Oh, gosh.
Don't tempt me. I would do it.
The concrete block.
That's a great movie.
If anyone is more messed up to do it, it would be me.
Yeah.
Speaking of messed up, my daughter, she took my moon monster and it's been living under her bed since the convention. I can't get it
Seems
back.
like an appropriate place for it.
I think I don't want that under my bed. Oh my God.
Yeah, not at all.
Are you
So
kidding? She loves it. It is literally her baby. She carries it everywhere.
For people who didn't get to attend, Jason made essentially a moon diorama and a 8-legged spider moon creature that his your daughter's 5?
No, 7.
7. Sorry. 7-year-old daughter loves like it's her own child. So I consider myself thankful enough to know Jason and his family, and then also creeped out by how much she loves this thing.
It's literally her favorite thing to carry around. It's like,
I don't know, Jason, when we see that your stuff, the level of creativity that goes into it, man, that just wants to push me further. Because I feel like my customs are pretty mundane compared to yours. Man, yours just knock it out of the park every time.
I think some days I spend too much time working on this stuff, and my mind. Some days I need to give it a break. So, but I enjoy it. I'm happy if anybody looks at it and inspires them to do something out there that they've never thought they would do. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to push the envelope.
thank
I'm
you,
gonna see if
Yokai. Oh, and to the people that said something about My Pet Monster, thank you guys. That was literally a part of my childhood. So, thank you.
Oh man, I was trying to see if I could share a picture of that moon spider, but it's not working. I haven't learned StreamYard well enough yet to figure out how to set all that stuff up. So,
I'm lucky.
but if you guys want to see a video of that moon monster, it's like right at the beginning of my recap video I put on YouTube. So within like the first 2 minutes, you'll see this crazy moon diorama, and that's the spider that his daughter likes to carry around with. Great. Bruno Yokai has a question for you, Jason. Was it made from the Witcher figure?
Yes, it was.
Oh, there it is right there. Yeah. Here, let me bring you up into full screen. Show everybody what that thing looks like.
That thing is so awesome.
You flip it upside down. What's the belly look like?
Good Lord.
Creepy.
She carries this thing everywhere. Just got her to give it to me long enough.
If that thing lived on the moon, we would not be going back to the moon.
Not at all. It looks like it just stepped right out of the ground.
But she loves this thing, and I don't know why. I love it because it's something creepy that I made, but she's like thrilled about it.
Hey, Rusty, we got a comment on your castle diorama. That was for Mythic Legions. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the castle you did?
Yeah, thanks, Bruno. Yeah, that was a project. I started that, I think, Chris kind of said, "Oh, we want to work on something else besides the G.I. Joe project," which was such a huge project. And I jumped in on the Mythic Legions, even though I collect them probably the least amount out of everyone in the group. But I mean, I love them just the same. So I jumped in on it. I had this kind of idea. Chris and I were going back and forth with photos on what we thought we could do. And I just kicked it to my dad, actually. I was like, what do you think we should do? And he kind of had this idea too, and we drew something up, and I brought some foam over, and we just kind of knocked out the base of the castle the first day on June 20th. And then I brought that home, got the dimensions for the table, and kind of just worked it out from there. And I could have kept going. The castle itself is 2 towers with a window in each one. There's a platform at the top of each tower, and also a room inside where the window is in each tower. So you can open it up, place a figure at each side. I didn't get a chance to do that, but it's set for that. The drawbridge, it has a parapet connecting the 2 towers with a working drawbridge and a winch room on the inside. You couldn't see that during the show. A lot of people, I should probably post some pictures, show them the back of the castle at some point, but it's all taken apart now. But there's a winch room in the back where you can crank the drawbridge and open and close the drawbridge. It's connected via chains. There's a weapons crate a weapons shelf on the inside. Some other odds and ends on the inside just to make it look more realistic. It's just made out of foam. It was a lot of work, but I tried to do it as quickly as I could to kind of work within the schedule, the time constraint, because it wasn't a lot of time to nail that down. I cut out a lot of what I wanted to do with the thing. I honestly could have kept going. I really wanted to do 4 walls, but we didn't have space. That's something I might think about adding on for, maybe next year, adding 2 other towers, 3 more walls, making like a courtyard. I don't know. We'll see. I already made a new diorama this week. So
cool.
That's just a little ice cave thing that I've been working on. I have no idea what it is. You guys gave me the idea. I was just making teeth. I had no idea what I was doing.
Nice. You guys want to talk about the Terradrome a little bit? I'm sure some people have some questions about that. Hey, Chris,
awesome.
I don't know if you want to carry that thing a little bit closer to the camera. I don't know. I know it'll kind of fall apart a little bit, but
Yeah, it's not moving.
It's not moving. Well, let me bring you up there. So you guys probably saw video pictures of the Terradrone diorama at the show, which there it is in the background. And a lot of people ask us, "Oh, is that 3D printed? How's it made?" You know. So, yeah, Chris, why don't you run us down? You know, how's that thing put together?
Yeah, so like we were talking earlier, it's all foam, you know, from Home Depot and Lowe's, and cut up, like Rusty said, over the course of probably 4.5 months. You know, the big rings. Then there's an octagon in the middle with a molded door that the piece that Bruno had brought in, and pretty much all of it was you know, cut and glued together by all of us over several months, and then painted. And then Bruno, Hidden Level Toy, did these battlements on the top here with the Cobra logo, with some artboard there that he used to cut out for the red Cobras. And then we added on accessories. The cannons, they were all painted by Jason, Phoenix Figure Workshop. So he painted all those with the red there with the logos and everything. Dave made the opening there in the middle for the fire bat. I don't have the fire bat in there. It's kind of too big, but I told me to get it off the dining room table, so I brought it back down here.
Yeah, so the whole thing was basically foam board, mostly 1-inch foam board and some 1/2-inch foam board in there. And we kind of mocked it up in cardboard first to kind of get the scale, because we were originally working off of a 6-foot round table, right, Chris? We figured we had a round setup, and that expanded into, I think the final dimensions was 10 feet by 6 feet roughly, right?
Correct. Yep.
So it was like the size of a ping pong table by the time we're done. So
Oh yeah.
but yeah, so we all kind of worked on it over that time, and the 2 jets were Buzz Lightyear jets. You've seen a lot of people getting those cheap at Walmart and customizing them. Rusty, you did the painting on those. Jason did the decals. Chris did some of the final decal application and painting and stuff, and then all the figures, and then the terrain. I guess the terrain was laid out by Bruno and Chris originally, and then we all kind of worked on that. You know, just carving it and putting the vegetation and texture in the paint, and then setting it all up in Chris's garage a couple times to make sure it looked right.
And I got the vehicles here too. I'll show you. So
yeah, run down the vehicles. Yeah.
So this is the Vamp here. So out of there, but so I ordered this thing about, I don't know, maybe a month or 5 weeks before the show. And it said it would show up in about, 2 to 3 weeks. So literally it showed up 2 days before the show in about 50 pieces. So, on top of everything else we were doing, I wound up building this thing one night till 11 o'clock at night. But it came out great. It's really cool. And of course, right after I bought it, Hasbro's like, yeah, we're releasing it.
Yeah.
And the Stinger's on the way too.
But that was not coming until next year. So I really like it. I might wind up getting they have the Stinger too. So I might get the Stinger. But it had a bunch of, if you weren't there, it had a bunch of these kind of 3D printed 1/12 scale vehicles on it that that don't really exist. The other fun one that I love, that I always liked as a kid, was the flat cannon. So again, this is another 3D printed kit that I ordered online through Etsy, and it comes in a couple of dozen parts, and you glue it all together with crazy glue. But it's 1/12 scale. I got a breaker in there, and the thing's awesome. It
is awesome.
Elevates up and down, and
it's awesome ratchet.
Yeah, they're just cool pieces, and it was stuff like this that really, for me, when I was a kid, it was the figures were great, but it was a lot of it was about the vehicles, and we don't really have a lot in the 1/12 scale. And then the other one, a lot of people asked about, this was another kit, is the Megatron cannon. So this was a couple of Easter eggs in. So this is the Megatron flat cannon here with Destro at the controls. Again, 1/12 scale. You can get these things on Etsy. There's a guy, his name is Jay's 3D Prints, who does these. He'll release them periodically. I don't think he has any of these that he's printing right now. But he does have the flak, because the flak, I ordered a second one, and that was one of the raffles we gave away. So the green flak. And then the last one I'll show that we had on there is this one. 1/12 scale Cobra Fang helicopter. Again, this comes printed in all these colors. I didn't paint this at all. I got the kit and I just put it together. Again, took me like an hour to glue it together. I mean, I've built models before. You got to sand a little bit. I mean, it's a little, there's some gaps and things here and there that you got to sand out and stuff. But for the most part, these things are really cool. I wish Hasbro was making a Fang. Maybe they'll announce that next. But so we had a bunch of this stuff on there that really made the diorama kind of stand out and different.
Hey, Chris,
can you
Dan's asking.
Yep, sorry.
Yeah, Dan's asking who the seller is, if you remember, on Etsy.
Yeah, it's Jay's 3D Prints. I'm pretty sure that's his name. But if you go onto Google and you start or not Google, if you go onto Etsy and you just put in search for 3D printed G.I. Joe classified 1/12 scale, like any of those keywords, he's going to pop up, and you'll see the flak, you'll see the Fang on there. And again, they kind of come and go. Like he does them in runs. Like he'll run off like 20 Fang helicopters and sell them, and because he'll take orders for them, and then he prints them out over like 6 weeks and then ships them out to you. And like I said, when you get them, like that Vamp came in like literally 2 like Ziploc bags. I got like a really big box, and I'm like, oh, it looks like that would be the size of it. Maybe it's already built in there. And I opened it up. It was all packing kernels, and I'm digging through the kernels. And all of a sudden, I pull out 2 Ziploc bags just full of all those parts. I showed you guys the pictures, and I was like, oh, here we go. Here's
Another project at the very end.
When that thing was done, it must have been so satisfying, though.
Then the other one there were these 2 kaiju guys that I put on there. A lot of people asked about too. So I wound up getting 2 of these. I found these at ChrisCon, New Jersey a couple of months ago. These again were like a limited run that came out of like Hong Kong, not U.S. based, but it's based on. There was an episode of G.I. Joe where, if you look at it, the cartoon, I'm pretty sure these were in it. And the guy was selling these. I guess he bought 100 of them when they came out. I think they only made like 500. This guy bought 100, and he had 4 of them at ToyCon, New Jersey. So I picked 2 of them up, and we had them kind of defending the Terradrome and attacking G.I. Joe. And a lot of people asked about those. But again, it's called Steel Kaiju, Kaiju. So if you Google that, you might find some sellers either on eBay or somewhere out there.
Yeah.
I think one thing that a lot of people, there was so much of it to take in. Like you could have walked around that whole display a couple times. But I think one thing that people wouldn't necessarily recognize that, especially Jason helped to put in there, were the Easter eggs. The small things that people wouldn't necessarily recognize, but we're sitting there and we're toy related and we're genre related. So Jason, I don't know if you want to share some of the things that you threw in there.
Well, per Chris's request, there was the Galaga screen on one of the computers. We built we modified a little radio, like a little boombox, to be Soundwave. And my personal favorite was sitting down and built a little tiny scratch-built Laserbeak that sat on one of the battlements. So I know we had others that just off my hand. Those are the 3 I can remember, that it was like trying to sneak as many little odds and ends that we could, just to see how people would notice them or not.
Despite Rusty's disagreement to it, did we end up getting a Stormtrooper in there?
No,
I don't think so.
I let it sit in the dye too long, and it wasn't blue; it was more black. So I was like, no, this isn't going to work. And like nothing was going right with it. So.
It's funny you say that, because I actually grabbed one of the one of the Mandalorians from season 2. Dave, you could probably figure out which one that was with the blue helmet. Mm-hmm. But I grabbed that the day of the show, and it ended up getting lost. I found it when I was unpacking. But I was going to toss that on one of the figures that I threw in kind of at the last minute. I was throwing in figures everywhere. I put a ton of custom figures on that shelf. I mean, I think when we were building that thing, all of us we could have just. It's like I said about my thing. We could have kept going. mean, that thing, we had to like, and this is where Chris comes in because he dials us back a little bit when we get a little crazy. Because you do have to find a point when you're running a show like this, just you got to stop and move to the next thing. And that was a big help to me because I need that direction because I'll just keep going.
Well, we had, a couple people asked me because I was hanging out around the diorama area for most of the show. A couple people did ask me about the custom, so I was giving you credit there. But I know you had Lifeline, you had what was it? Who's the Mercer is his name? What's the
you had all the I had the Slaughter's Renegades. I had Mercer, Taurus, and Red Dog. I think Wilfred was asking about the extra arms on the bat. Yeah, those were from Dollar Tree.
Yeah, those were cool. Yeah. So yeah, that was a lot of fun to put together. I mean, it was really neat for all of us, and for everybody who got to see it. We felt the same way you guys did. We just thought it looked so cool. So.
Yeah, I mean that initial, like when I first drew that thing, sketched it out, it was so much bigger. It had like the swamp and the water leading up to it, and it was going to be on a plateau. And I think maybe it was Bruno who said, like, you're not going to be able to see inside this thing. It's going to be like 6 feet high. Like, this isn't going to work. So again, like dialing it back a little bit. But it gives us ideas for the future,
Oh, we were spitballing ideas of having troopers parachuting in across the room, like
I actually did put ripcord in there with a parachute hanging down at the end.
Nice.
Which was cool. I grabbed I think it was an old G.I. Joe ripcord, like parachute or something like that.
Yeah, I think with your custom, I think there were over 80 feet on the diorama. 80. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
A lot of figures. But you guys keep chatting. I'm going to open up Eclipse here. I want to make I'm going to mute myself for a second.
We painted the Valaverse colors, and we just use all Valaverse things.
Yeah, I mean, that just gives us ideas for next year. Whose work are we going to highlight next year? That's just something we push down the line. I think we need a breather between now and then, but I finally got my wetsuit shirt though. For any of you guys, Hasbro guys, look at my 80s tees wetsuit. Showed up the day after the show. I was gonna wear that at the show, but day late and $1 short.
Yeah, I accidentally canceled my Cobra Eel on Amazon because I had Torpedo, and I'm like, oh, I think I pre-ordered him somewhere. Let me go cancel him. So I went on to Amazon. I'm like, is the diver? And I canceled it. And then I looked. I'm like, it's the Cobra Eel. I'm like,
oh no. Oh no. Yeah, I couldn't get him. I couldn't get the eel. He was totally sold out. Same with the Range Viper. They're all selling out so fast.
I actually, Empire Toy Shop, Milo posted it this evening. He's doing a 4-pack of Cobra figures that include the eel, and I messaged him and I was just like, is it possible to do like a custom? So he ended up, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this out loud. He ended up giving me a deal of I did 3 Crimson Bats because I didn't buy any Crimson Bats. He did 3 Crimson Bats in the eel for me as like a special. So. But I was wondering, like the whole thing with Torpedo and eel, I don't know how I'm going to display underwater people.
Right.
You have friends that make dios.
I don't know if I need a whole underwater dio.
Yeah, just toss them in a fish tank.
You will soon. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
I did. Dave, to your question earlier, I think one of the things that made me like a moment that stood out for the show, just while we're talking about Joe's and Classified, was and this goes back to thanking Chris for not only what he does to help us out to run it, but like I don't think people who don't go understand the generosity Chris has. Like, yes, we had things that were donated that he gave away, but Chris goes out of his way to make sure that he's got insane prizes. And one of the moments that really shone for me was I don't know if everyone knows Ted. I don't know Ted's social media handles. I just know him from seeing him at Harry's and seeing him at our show. But Ted's a really good dude. I've had good conversations with him. And he comes up to me, and I had a bunch of stuff for sale. And he's like, "Do you have Torpedo?" And I was like, "I don't have any of the new stuff." But at that moment, Chris was doing a giveaway. One of the prizes was Torpedo. And I think it was literally all you had to do was sit in the front row. And I was like, "Ted, he's literally about to go give one away. Go sit down and see if you can get Torpedo." And he did. And so like the one thing that he came for looking as in a vendor perspective, he not only got, but got for free. So like he came in, paid the price of the show. He bought stuff from a lot of people anyway, but I was just like really, really like one of those moments of just like, this dude's looking for one specific thing. And he literally just got it for free essentially. And it was just such a cool moment to see, again, going back to like the nature of the show, the generosity of Chris, collectors looking out for each other because he wasn't paying attention. I happened to just see it, and I was like, "Go!" And he got it, which was awesome.
Yeah, it's a great story.
Yeah, I've known Ted an awful long time, and that was a cool thing.
He's a great guy. I like Ted a lot.
Yeah.
I'm glad he came this year too. This is the first year he came. He said he really enjoyed it. So.
Yep.
I have to say that there's been some side chats and some Facebook groups. I've really been pumping up the show even afterwards. And I think anyone who is logged in here, and I know Dave was saying he's got friends from Phoenix that are here and friends from Anchorage that are here. And I really feel like, in all sincerity, that this is probably a top 3 show in the US in terms of the enjoyment of coming. And I would encourage anyone who has the ability to make it out here to come out for the show and just experience it. And it's one day, and that's fine. New England has some great things to make a vacation out of. Make a small vacation for it. Take the time to make this trip, whether it's an hour, 16 hours like One Oak did. I mean, some of it's extreme, but it really is like if you're looking for a community experience, I encourage anyone to come out and see it, because I can't imagine someone walks away disappointed in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it's good comments. Let's talk about this a little bit. Dan from Yokai Custom says, "I'm curious what thoughts you guys have for how next year might be different. Anything you want to do differently?" We have not talked about this at all yet, Dan, and we're just still like recovering, but we'll throw it out there. Any initial thoughts, guys?
I think it's going to be bigger. I got to get a bigger venue. We had, a ton of people wanting tables that we couldn't accommodate. We just were out of space, and we had to relocate kind of midway through planning, which I don't know if most people know that, but we had to relocate the venue. So I think next year is just going to be a little bit bigger, not too much bigger, but enough so that we can accommodate some more vendors, maybe have some more display. Yeah. We'll probably, like Kenny was saying, maybe more time to work on displays, sort of divvy up some ideas. The Mythic Legions one was great this year. The Star Wars stuff is always amazing. But just coming up with some more ideas like that to expand on. And the thing we added this year too, we added the photography contest, which was a big hit. We got 66 entries in just a few weeks. I got entries from Germany. I got entries from Malaysia. I got entries from Turkey, all over the country. I'll show you just a couple. The winner, by the way, just a shout out to the last we didn't talk about. So this was the winner right here. This was Obi's Toy Box. You can follow him on Instagram. But just a really great shot that really stood out. And he won the grand prize, which was a Transformers camera. It's a Canon camera that turns into a robot, into Optimus Prime. But just, a couple of the other entries we had, this guy, Jeremy Foster, just really great stuff. This one was one of my personal favorites. This is an X-Ray Studios, one of the figures there where he's like kind of put on his armor, which is really cool. A really cool Spider-Man scene. A couple others.
I love that Superman one.
This was Wilfredo Porkchop submitted this. That my wife loved this one. She thought this one should win. She just really liked the colors and the way one popped off the wall. And then just some stuff like this. This guy had X-Men scene. But we had all these up on a wall so that it was like an art gallery, and everyone had a number and everyone could vote on them. The one of the most votes won, but it also, like I said, provided sort of an art gallery as another outlet for people to check out some art and get inspired. This was Jared Middleton, York. Again, thank you very much for coming.
Chad, that was my favorite one.
Girlfriend with it, had a great setup, and everybody really appreciated talking to him about action figure photography. This is one here. This one was from Germany. This guy submitted from Germany, some Mythic Legions figures there that really amazing. This one is from Malaysia, a really cool shot there. This one came in from Turkey. So, kind of a lot of people from literally all over the world. And it was funny because I put the thing on Instagram and I got a couple of entries, and then I'm like, well, let me advertise and let me put it out again. I put another post out maybe a week later, and I got a few more entries, and then they started to trickle in a little faster, and some people were like, hey, is this open to the entire world? And I was kind of reluctant. I didn't really say anything. I just let people email them in. You didn't really have to be present to enter. And we wound up getting 66 entries. They were all just excellent. They were all great. So really, really great add to the show. But yeah, we'll see what we can do next.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind kicking it to the community, see what they like, what they think we could add to. Take a poll and see what works. Maybe we could add it to the show next year. Might be like an interactive experience that would be added to the show. It's just something we could spitball, but I think what we have there is a lot of interesting people coming to our show that are very talented. They bring a lot to the show as well. We have a lot of artists there, so kick it out to the community and see what they love about our show. I love our show. I mean, this is a show that, as a guest, I would go to every day. I could do this all day long.
Okay, Steve.
Maybe take a break in between. But I'm in a unique position.
I think an interesting piece of
like there's like chatter in the background. Is that like people talking? What is that?
It must be feedback from somebody.
Yeah, it's not mine.
Not me.
Not on my end.
I only have the tire
like
going.
Star Wars.
It's got to be a feedback loop somewhere.
Yeah.
Everybody can turn their volume down a little bit. It might help. I'm not sure whose mic was picking it up. But. What were you saying, Jeremy? Were you?
So I think one of the interesting pieces of feedback. So I was listening to Yojimbo's and Matthew's review when they were driving back, their in-car review, and they had Trevor on, who's 1/6 shooter, who does all the photography for Mythic Legions, and and I think
and he was at the show. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. He was at the show too. I think like it's an interesting thing that it's good feedback for us, but I think that people don't. It's our second year. His piece of feedback was that in the diorama area where we allow people to go and use them, is that it's scant with supplies. So Chris basically went out and got a whole bunch of lights. The first year we did this in his garage, got a whole bunch of lights, and then people either like Bruno brought a bunch of dioramas, and then Bruno made a bunch of them. So now Bruno cannot make one for everybody, although we appreciated him doing so that first year. So Chris brings a bunch of dioramas. I bring a bunch of dioramas. Rusty brought some. Dave, you brought some. Bruno did bring some. But there were 25 in total dioramas, and they all had lights. But to his point, could we have flight stands for things, or and he even said it, and I think this is a way to expand, is to have someone there who's willing to kind of do like a little showcase and say, hey, look, whether it's Jared or if Trevor comes back or if Bruno is interested in doing it, but kind of doing a walkthrough on figure photography. I think it's another opportunity that we do have to expand the interactivity of the show, so that people who want to take these photos can learn a little bit about it.
I agree. That's a great idea.
somebody, stationed there, because we did have, Jeremy and I, we brought some extra figures too. If people didn't bring any figures, we have kind of a pile of figures. So it's great to have somebody there to say, hey, there's some figures over here, take those and you can set them up, and here's some lights, and oh, by the way, this is how they dim, and you can change the colors on these lights, because we do have some lights that have some color effects and some different things. But there's also some people too that know what they're doing. They're bringing backpacks. I noticed some people brought backpacks, and they had their own lights they pull out and put the little backlights in, or figures and stuff like that. And the other thing too, I always say, I encourage people, if you buy a figure there, if you didn't bring any figures, but you just bought one at somebody's vendor table, or if you won one, open it up and go over to the dioramas and take pictures in it. Like, especially for Mythic Legions, those are easy to open and reseal. People could open those up and put them right in there. Maybe they did too. But also, if you have any pictures, again, post them to #ChrisCon so people can see. We'd love to see any photos people took in those dioramas.
If I can interject, one thing that, as far as, like, I've also, at my table, I had a lot of questions about, like, how to do this, how to do that. It would also be interesting next year to possibly have a introduction to customizing, or something to give people the basic ideas of how to do, like, like simple things like repaints, or what materials to use, or that kind of thing. I also, though, think we should also have over near the photo area, like for the photo contest, we need to have somebody dressed as J. Jonah Jameson to get there and be like, crap, mega crap, I'll give you $300. Or be like, hey, get there and be like, bring me pictures of Spider-Man. I'm just saying, it would help. Like, seriously, have him just stand there, crap, mega crap.
That's awesome.
I think you definitely just volunteered for that, Jason.
Yeah.
Huh?
I think another thing too, like even if it's not someone who's there. So I don't know if anyone follows Toyzology, TOYZOLOGY on Instagram, but he's been doing this series of how to pose things, and he basically does like a step-by-step walkthrough of what a dynamic pose looks like for an action figure versus a more traditional or vanilla pose. And he does it in a non teardown method. Like, it's just a very constructive method. And his infographics are just spot on, nice and clean, and explains, like, put the arm in this position on a flying figure because it shows this level of how dynamic it can be. I think even things like that would be cool if we could get his work incorporated and put it in the area so that someone is posing, they're not just getting that standard vanilla pose. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if they want to make it more dynamic, we could get that information out there for them.
Yeah, give it the Stan Lee, the Marvel way.
Is that dynamic enough for you?
No.
Yes.
I'm messing around with my ChrisCon winning from the trivia game. This is that DLZ Skull Trooper.
Yeah, what do you think of that figure? That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, no, he's so it's very similar to a Mezco body. I love the masthead, but it poses really, really well. The fabric on it's really nice. You can definitely see the influence from Mezco, and when people are doing their own custom thing, like I've seen this vest 3D printed from people. So it's an excellent use of the materials, but it's a lot of fun. And I mean, considering it's it's usually $60 MSRP.
I think it's like or something.
Well, I know 5K Toys has it, and I think it's worth it compared to like a Mezco skull who's $90+. So it's really cool.
Yeah, put some from that Tracksuit Mafia guy on there. They look cool.
Nice.
I have yet to see him in store. I'm still looking for him.
Only one time. I got him one time.
Yeah.
That was it.
Well, I bought my first Legion figure at the convention, and now I'm looking to buy more. So,
What did you get?
I just got the standard white Sentry guy. I bought
Science
it.
officer.
Oh, so that's a Cosmic Legion now. You got Cosmic.
Yes, Yes.
Yeah, so
That
just
is
people that weren't there, they had Cosmic Legions at the
yes.
show. Selling us the first show that sold Cosmic Legions.
But
This
that
is the one we picked up.
that is cool.
Yeah, Chris, I blame you for letting me fall down that rabbit hole. I love Mystic Legions, the look of them. They, the stability is still an issue for me, but their look is just amazing. Four Horsemen are awesome.
Well, thanks to that, now I've got a bunch of ideas for new heads for it. So who knows what weirdness is going to come next. I was joking around with Jess. I'm like, well, it's time to make Earthworm Jim a head for this thing. So, and if you know what that is, exactly.
Yeah. Before I forget, too, I want to thank Jeremy Gerard and Chris from Four Horsemen Studios. They're very generous. They donated a Kragnar. This is my Kragnar, which I had opened. They donated a Kragnar like this, and they also donated a Kragnar test shot for the raffle. So we really appreciate that. But they had a ton of Cosmic Legions there. They had the table stacked, 4 deep and 4 wide, and I think they sold through just about all of them.
Right. They sold out of the bugs. They sold out of the 2 of the Tusk people. There was a lot gone.
Jason, check this comment. He's
I see it.
already started.
I see it. Yes, I need to see that when it's done. That will be awesome.
I can't wait to see all the 3D printed heads and stuff at Legions Con for the Cosmic Legion. There's going to be some creative stuff there. I love doing that. I love swapping the heads on those things and just making a totally different figure out of it. And just the part swaps and stuff would be interesting to see the combinations. Plus, they're doing, what is it, next week? They announced the next wave, Jeremy? Do you know?
The 18th, they're doing a live preview and stream event from PowerCon, and it's going to be the next book. So I think this will be the 4th official wave of Cosmic.
I definitely want to go to Legions Con. You guys are getting me hyped for it. Steph said he would put me on his back and carry me around like a backpack.
I am so scared of Legions Con. This will be my first one. I'm so excited to go, but I'm so scared based off of the sheer amount of money that's going to be spent there between the exclusives that look incredible, the customs that I haven't seen that I'm going to get. I kind of held off on buying some of the stuff at our shows to let other people get it. But by the time we get to Legions Con, the next release of Cosmic Legions, which is the gray alien Jason wants, is going to be out.
Yep.
Oh,
yes. So it's almost it's not there. They can't guarantee it, but I would put easy money on the fact that book 1.5 will be there, and possibly the next Mythic wave, Poxus, should be there too. So it's just going to be so much money. But also to just piggyback and pump Jason's tires, Jeremy Gerard featured that Mars Attacks head on his channel with the head swap.
It looks awesome.
That was really cool.
Believe me, seeing him paint that up and on that body, holy crap, that thing looked cool. So, of course, personally, I'm hoping that for future waves, they make Grignak. I want a Grignak so badly. Like a giant space rock monster.
Let's see what happens on the 18th.
Like Rathgaw's hammer, I shall be avenged.
What is this comment? Waltor 2-pack. I don't know that. What is that, Jeremy?
Oh, that's the reference to so Walter the Mad is the person who created and administers the cabals, the Mythic Legions cabal, the Cosmic Cabal, and they are making him a 2-pack, 1 Cosmic, 1 Mythic Legion, and they're both skeleton based. And I'll send them over to the group. They look awesome.
I did see a post on that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So didn't you guys pick up this 2-pack?
Not yet. I haven't even seen it.
So Superman, this is the Target. I pre-ordered it from Target. I don't do a lot of McFarlane, but I'm a really fan of the death of Superman, those comics and all that. So I have it here. I don't know. It's kind of cool looking. My son's been playing with it. He does have loose joints. That's the one thing I've heard. Like some of his kind of spins a little bit. So like this one's really loose.
Yeah, it's super loose.
Jiminy Christmas.
No
I've
bueno.
heard that's a QC problem with this, so I don't know. I haven't read too much about it, but I did see a couple people post about it. But I really like the Doomsday. I think it's pretty cool.
I've seen a couple people sculpting the bones over the brow, over the eyes.
Really?
That looks so good.
I think it's nice. It's a nice sculpt. It could use a little bit of wash or something too. And the green is like really bright, but I don't know. It was $60 for the two, so it's kind of, I don't know. It'd be better if it was a little bit less expensive, but I don't know. The Superman's pretty cool. I like the face on him. He's got some battle damage.
That first group of DC figures that McFarlane did, I remember buying a Superman and getting it for Bruno, and it like fell apart right out of the package. But I think since then they really stepped up their QC issues. I mean, in my opinion, the ones that I've bought. Lately, though, I play the long game on DC stuff. I mean, I cherry pick and play the long game because those. I mean, they're going to get discounted, heavily. So why not wait?
I didn't want to wait on this one because I thought it was just a cool comic.
Yeah, no. When you see it, sometimes you just gotta grab it.
Yeah, I'm with Rusty in terms of, I mean, it's one of the benefits and curses of McFarlane is that they do end up getting clearance more often than not. But I saw Sinestro Batman, and I'm too big of a Lantern fan to let that slide. So I ended up spending that, and the other piece too. He's hidden back here. I got the Flash part of Cyborg, and this thing is going to be awesome when it is finished. Like, it is pretty impressive size-wise in terms of how it articulates. So I'm excited for the last piece. I know it's really part of the Flashpoint universe version, but I'm pretty excited to finish this off. So the two McFarlanes that I paid full price for recently were the Flash that came with that part, and then Sinestro Batman.
Okay. Cool. Awesome.
What
else you guys pick up?
From a couple of things here I can show. Even though I didn't do much shopping, but I grabbed a couple of them.
Go ahead, Chris. What do you got? Oh, yeah.
From Chris Burdenka's Chris Burdenka art, Burdenka, if I'm saying it right. This print of one of his paintings. So Chris paints action figures in basically a photorealistic style, and he had originals there, and he also had some of these prints, and you can see this kind of has just a little bit of the 80s, a Shogun Warrior, which I love, a Transformer, which is also a Veritech from Robotech, and obviously the Castle Grayskull and Godzilla and stuff like that. So I got that print, and then he also did this one right before the show. He had the original there, which was amazing, but he did this Grimlock as well, so I picked this up. But definitely check out his website. He was a great add to the show. We kind of set him up again like almost as a bit of an art gallery. So he had probably 20 or 30 of his original paintings on display on the wall. And like I said, then he had a box with, if you couldn't afford the originals, because they were kind of pricey, but he had prints of everything in different sizes. So these are kind of my favorite pickup from the show. I'm glad I got it over to his table and was able to snag a couple of these. I probably should have grabbed a couple more, but
his stuff was really nice. It's like photorealistic. It's so clean. It brings back the colors in that. He really nails the nostalgia factor. That one you were just showing, it's like stepped out of like a Transformers episode. It's just so nice.
Good stuff. I'll show you another thing I got too. Really cool. This is one of our other vendors we talked about, but Lone Wolf Labs, who make dioramas. I bought some stuff from them at Legion's Con, and I saw them at New Jersey Toy Con, And I talked to them, and I was like, "Hey, why don't you come up to ChrisCon?" Oh, it's like coming
There
apart.
it goes.
And so they ordered this from them, but they had a couple of these on display there that they were selling, and it's really cool Cosmic Legion, diorama for Cosmic Legion. It all breaks down. It's all held together with magnets, but there's like a light that comes with it. You can see the light coming from the ceiling. It's got some like these fans on the side where you put lights coming through. Just really nice piece. And people are getting the Legions or the Cosmic Legions, and these guys do some nice stuff. They're going to be at Legions Con too, so have some more pieces from them. But really appreciate those guys coming up from New Jersey and selling a bunch of their pieces. They also do 3D printed items. I don't know, Jason, you want to talk about some of the stuff you grabbed from them?
Oh, well, this time I only got I got a door similar to the one that's from the Terradrome on the back, because I have plans for that I'm not talking about yet, but I've got a plan for it. But his work, I looked at a lot of it. Like we were wandering the floor for a few minutes, and I agree. It's amazingly done, and they're incredible for the price. Like totally worth it. Like I had to pull myself away. I would have spent everything I brought with me on stuff there. So
yeah, he does little computer consoles. That's where we got the console for inside the Terradrome, and he does them in 1/12 and 1/8. Oh, there you go. Those, Dave. Yeah,
I got these two pieces from him at the end of the show. I think these are for 3.75 Star Wars. They're smaller, but it's something I've had my eye on for a while, so they're pretty cool.
And this price are excellent too. I mean,
yeah,
very reasonable.
Chris, how much was that dio? Was that one of the 80 or 120?
That one was 100. That one was 100. I pre-ordered. He brought it up with him. He had it and he handed it to me. I had already paid him on PayPal, but he had a couple of them there that I saw that were different sizes. Yeah, there was one that was like 120 and a couple of different variations of it. But yeah, it's cool stuff.
All right, guys, can I show you my new selfie figure?
Oh yeah,
you got the new one.
Pretty good.
I love it.
I'm not gonna lie, Dave. They did you dirty.
I think it's a remarkable likeness.
I think it was the skin tone or something, the lighting that threw it off.
I didn't know you were part Mohegan.
Yeah.
Isn't that a cool head sculpt? I love this thing.
So cool.
I wish I had.
Awesome.
I think it's awesome, man. I got one of those.
And she got the dual clips there that come out and she's got a ton of extra hands and the 3 head sculpt. She's got the hooded head too, so that's pretty cool. You can actually.
You're making me very jealous, Dave. I'm pretty upset about that. I actually went to Bobby's. I went to Bobby's table. I bought some stuff from his personal collection. I got a couple of these Animal Warriors of the Kingdom figures.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I love these. I know some people aren't a fan of the paint apps. I think those are gonna. I think that's a line that's gonna take off, though. Like, I really want him to come to the show next year. I'd love to see his work showcased. And I grabbed this Mythic Legion horse.
Oh, nice.
Of course. Nice.
Wow.
Wait a minute. How much did he sell Valius for?
I think I paid 40, 60 maybe for him.
Woo! Bobby had the deals.
It's a good deal.
And these guys were $8 each.
Wow.
Really? Oh my God.
Yep. So I mean, I didn't buy a single Action Force figure, which kills me. I love them. I don't know what I was thinking, but I didn't get one. It's crazy to me, but.
Well, once the show started, that's where I went. And I went to Bobby's booth and I bought that first. And then I went over to Cosmics and I bought the one Cosmic. Those are the 2 new items that we bought. But yeah, I kept hearing the pricing was really good. Everybody was saying the pricing at the show was good. I kept hearing that over and over. So that's cool. A lot of people spending money,
You're not those Legions or Cosmic Legions any cheaper unless you pre-ordered them. The retail price is higher than that. Those are really good prices. And the same thing with Valverse too. You're getting stuff, no shipping, and those are right. But one other thing I got, did anybody else get one of these? I bought it from Jeremy.
I got one right here. I don't know if you can see it.
Got your guys on there.
We got a bunch of guys on there now.
Oh, you got the figures on there. Awesome. Yeah, I was psyched that the blue one was still there. I thought they'd all be gone.
Yeah, I appreciate the patronage. I was a little surprised I walked away with them. I still have 4, but
If you have a white one, I'll grab one off you.
still got the white one.
Good. Done.
Targets lately too this week, and they're all gone. Anyway,
Yeah.
I think everybody bought them. I bought like a sack myself. I bought like 10 of them for $5.
Maybe we can trade the white queen, Gamma Frost, for one of those.
I got you.
Cool.
Jeremy, you were selling those for what, like $15, something like that?
Yes, yeah. So painted up in different colors, and then Jason got me the stickers for to put them on. So we had them in like that, the darker blue, the lighter blue, black and white.
Yeah, those look nice.
Instagram, send them a message if you want one. Look,
Yeah, you got an interested customer here. Nicholas is interested, Jeremy. So.
Nicholas, they're available as long as I have them, because to Chris's point, they're getting harder and harder to find the resources at Target. So if you want to, you can hit me on my my Instagram, which is right after my name, and we can message about it there.
these are cool, man. That was a great idea. I mean, you can put other logos on there too.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were talking about doing the Cabal logos on it and just backpacking them and bringing them to Legion's Con.
That's a great idea.
Did you prime these, or just one coat of paint, or how did you paint them?
Several coats, and then a matte seal. But just using, I mean, admittedly, like they're just stands, so I didn't put a ton of like precision paint into it. It was more just about getting some coverage on it. So coats, primed it, and then hit it with 2 coats of the color.
Great, man. I appreciate it. I love it.
Yep. Me too.
I appreciate it that you appreciate it.
Yep, they're sitting right on my TV stand for my wife to see at all times.
Nicholas says he's going to hit you up.
The consolation of coming out of ChrisCon with very little is that I had a whole bunch of boxes from Hasbro. So I got my Bruce Banner, Hulk.
Nice.
I got Captain America. I had to swap out that awful head though.
Hey, can you hold up Bruce again? The lab coat guy?
Yeah.
What does his face look like? He looks very geeky.
He is very geeky looking. I love him.
Feels like that should have went on a Peter Parker.
Yeah, it really does look good on a Spider-Man.
You could put a Timothy Chalamet head on there and make it more handsome.
I was surprised that the Copperhead boat didn't the moccasin with Copperhead, the custom moccasin I made. I was surprised that didn't sell, but I'm kind of glad it didn't. I had like a really good deal on that for the figure and the boat, and it didn't sell. And I was like, oh well, I guess I'll have to take it home and put it on my shelf again.
You want to have tonight?
I'm going to do the reveal on this STCC Black Chrysanthemum. Take a look at this. This is the one that Dan ordered me from Pulse because he got the code.
It's
I don't know. It's pretty cool packaging. I like it. Nice presentation. He's still small though. I don't do a lot of TVC, so it's
it's TV.
Yeah, it's the vintage collection. It's the 3.75. Black Series one hasn't come out yet, so I don't know. Cool looking figure. I'll have to open it up and check him out. But,
The real question is, does he listen to The Cure? Because Goth Chewbacca needs to listen to The Cure or something.
Wouldn't it be white?
He's got a nice angry face, though. I like that. That's good.
You know, it's
Guys,
funny
I
about
think
this night. I was so upset the day of the show that he was supposed to be the highlight of that Legion's diorama.
Oh yeah.
When we were initially spitballing the ideas for it, Chris and I were talking about having like, you know, a couple horses coming out with some knights walking out from the castle. And it was a matter of space. The way I made the dial was, you know, wider than it was long. But I mean, looking at the tables, I ran out of space on the outskirts of the dial anyways. But I'm just really bummed. I ended up swapping it with the Elf King and the Moose, which worked out okay. But man, the look of that knight on the horse. Oh, regrets.
Yeah, the horse is
I
pretty
had it
cool.
on the list. He was like the top of the list too.
Yeah. Did you guys get a good look at this guy yet? The new Hammerhead, you know, Doc Ondar.
I saw
You
you.
guys see this?
It looks great. It looks so good. It's just that price point is so high. Oh.
Yeah, it's $45 on Shop Disney. So, but yeah, it is expensive. But Black Series is my main line that I collect. So for me, it was kind of no brainer for me to get him. But I haven't disrobed him yet. I know he's got like the kind of the basic undergarments that
I've seen an
Lauren would be
attention
wearing.
where that's going.
But anyway, I think I just like him. He's one of my favorite new figures that I've gotten recently.
Yeah, and I,
Was there any figures that you guys, besides me, I know which one I was looking for. Was there a figure that any of you guys, or an item you guys were looking for at the show, hoping to find from one of the vendors that you didn't get to get?
No.
I kind of went without expectations and just you know, I get what I get.
Don't get upset.
Exactly.
You guys know I was looking for Mindbender. I still have a line on that though.
Legions. I like that comment from the Okai Customs. I'd love a camel from Mythic Legions. That would be cool. That would be really
Camel.
Yeah.
Wow. What would you do with a camel? Which figures would have a camel?
Well, there's that sort of a
Three
ring.
wise men.
His head, the purple guy, the minaret.
Uh,
Like, you know who I'm talking about? You could probably.
They have like some Middle Eastern type designs to some of their figures. Like
Well, they have the genie coming out.
Grisha.
A genie coming out. But I like the
Yeah,
too for like
Grisha's the Middle Eastern traveling swordsman, and then they have a Jin coming out in the Poxus wave.
Okay.
You take the
Duarte
camel.
says we're going to get a bear before a camel. What do you guys think of that?
I hope so. I'm looking for. I mean, just looking at his custom, I really want one.
Yeah, the bear
The
was
thing was
what
awesome.
won best
Oh, yeah,
in
there
show
it
was
is.
the bear. So.
that guy could use a camel.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I mean, they have the noble bear tribe, right? So
But I think
that's a no-brainer.
type of thing would be really great. I think people would buy that en masse, you know.
Yeah.
Santa figure and around Christmas time. Maybe they'll come out with one. You know, maybe they'll. Maybe that'll be the next Obscuro will be a reindeer. You know, that would be awesome.
Well, that'd be cool too.
It'll be interesting to see. What were you saying, Chris?
Polar bear drinking a Coke.
Cocaine bear. I mean, it kind of gets busted wide open now that they finished the Four Horsemen. I believe they're going to start working on some of the gods on the good guy side. So they've done the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, and I believe now they're going to go do like the leads of each house. I think. So yes, we could
I kind of want to see Ares, the god of war.
That's Arether.
I kind of already have one. Yeah.
So you had Arether, which was your god of war. You had your god of Arether is your god of war. Alithia was your god of famine. Poxus is your god, or your horseman of pestilence, and then Necronominus was your god of death, or horse of death.
I'm just sitting here thinking it would be hilarious to see a Mythic Legion camel sneak it into like a nativity scene along with the ultimate ghost figure from the band Ghost, and just wait to see if people notice.
I'm here for it.
Like Super 7's Ghost would be awesome in a nativity scene. I don't know why that strikes me as one of those stupid things I would do.
I'd love to see like an artist like Emil Wickman at the show. He does amazing.
Yeah,
I know he's not stateside, but
yeah, I don't know if he can make both shows. I know he'll be. Well, I mean, I don't know, but I assume he'll be at Legion's Con. But
you see, if we could just get cloning, then we could have multiple people at multiple shows.
well, Chris did have the screen, so maybe he's doing virtual live interviews with some people next year.
Oh, that could be cool.
that would be cool.
You guys know what
guys,
this is?
Well, we know it's R2D2.
Yeah, check it out. This is from SDCC, brand new exclusive.
Well,
That.
like the original.
Gentle Giant.
It's the Gentle Giant Jumbo R2 with the third leg from the Droid Factory set.
Oh, that's cool.
It's the one that goes with these, the 12-inch figures.
Jason and I are children.
The third leg? Yeah. Okay, jeez.
You said he has a third leg.
I've been holding on to-
He was very
This guy
excited
here.
about the robot third leg.
Well, I
awesome.
mean, if you're going to have a third leg, I mean,
Jeez, you're so immature, Jason. Like, let's see if the head clicks.
I
It
excel
clicks.
in like being immature or something, because like it's like fun. I'm like the kind of guy that like glues nads to his action figures because it's like it makes them like more cool.
I did this. What was that comment?
Star Wars nativity scene.
Yeah.
What was that? Oh,
That actually happened down in Florida. My daughter went to church with my parents, and they did a Star Wars nativity story. It was awesome at Grace Church. It was hilarious.
this is fun.
Arthur, I'm a little concerned if your nickname in college was R2 because of a robotic third leg.
I think technically it would.
There we go. That's on my name.
R2. Oh my God.
What was that? Oh man, that's good. This is something I've had from SDCC for the last 2 weeks. I've been looking forward to opening it up, and this does not disappoint. This is great. I love these things.
Chris, I still haven't opened it. I'm still trying to find time.
What is that? What is that? I can't. Oh yeah, that's right. You got that early. You haven't opened it yet. I keep waiting for mine to show up. I don't know. I haven't got a shipping notice yet. I don't know. I'm assuming it's going to be a few more weeks. I don't know.
Why don't you open it right now, Jeremy?
Because the area, I just opened. I joined the Cool Kid Club. I finally got Scrap Iron. I just opened him, and the area in front of me is a mess to be opening up Mezco figures. So
Yeah, I got like 3 of them now.
3 scrap yards.
Yeah, I love scrap iron. I don't know.
Scrap Iron. Sorry.
You got to trade them for a mind bender now.
I don't know if that would be a even trade.
Brian was on here. He's the one who won Mindbender.
Yeah, I'm still gonna work that out with him. I feel like I'll be paying a king's ransom for that one, or a mythic. It'll be a mythic trade.
Well, I still have one on pre-order for you, Rusty. The mind bender. So if they
I
don't
can
cancel
try to play the long game. I was hoping that we'd see a new Falcon.
Isn't the Trouble Bubble supposed to be shipping soon now? I guess it's showing up overseas.
Yeah, it's starting to show up in Hong Kong, I guess. I mean, everything does over there. I need to connect over there. All my buddies have connects over there. I need a connect over there.
Just there's one vendor who does it all the time. The Robo somebody.
I mean, I worked the cafe flight at the airport. You would think I'd know somebody.
Seriously, just have them drop it off on the way. I'm really disappointed though that they do not have a spot for a flight stand on the Trouble Bubble. And the same thing with the Serpentor. Like the fact that you've got these flying things and you've got the technology. I mean, these I need to go find out if my Ollie's has any more of this one, because this one at a minimum gets taken apart very easily, and you get the piece that you can just attach to anything, like the clear piece that runs exactly.
Yes.
That piece is brilliant because you can double side tape it or sticky tack it to anything you want, and you get an instant flight stand. And like I was using it for Silver Surfer, but I wanted to use it for a Trouble Bubble, was just be able to just plug it in like that. But like Joe's, whether it's Serpentor or any of the other flight pieces, they should have that peg.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's somebody out there that does an independent, like a 3D printed clear flight stand. And I've seen some stuff for the 3 3/4 inch GI Joe stuff. Somebody had some stands and things for different.
We're gonna need them for the dial and have planned for next year because I want to do some floating rocks.
Oh, Rusty.
Magnets.
Brian just said in the comments, if you can find him a Wang from Furay, which is the Tigers, he'll make that trade for you.
I just saw that.
Oh.
See what we can do.
That's a great figure.
And when are you guys going down to Jersey next? When's
November?
Yeah, okay.
November.
So you can do your handoff down there. See?
I swear to God, I read that as Wang. I was like, why would they name a tiger Wang?
Because he also has a robotic third leg.
Hey, the other thing to talk about is the Fantastic Car.
Yeah.
Do you have
awesome.
that? Can you show it?
I don't have it right in front of me. It's in it's in one of the boxes. I still haven't unboxed anything from when we got home. Like everything, like I said, just made me take a week off. Otherwise, I'd be messing with them still. I'll be posting better pictures of it very soon. Like I can't name the number of weeks that went into just designing that thing to try to get it to where it would work, and then reworking, and just the amount of time. Like it took a lot.
Table and stuff, or
okay, I'm corrected. Hold on, give me 1 minute. Just brought one of the boxes in.
Oh,
that has it. Oh, and it also has my angel. So, sorry. Dun, 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 dun. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna make you big, Jason. Here we go.
Oh. Okay. So let's see. Use the. I'm sitting in our bed. So I'm also not good at cameras. So
we can see it.
Like this thing.
So cool.
I spent a lot of time just on
consoles. Yeah.
There we go. Just on the consoles, like piecing them together. Everything was bits, bobs, but most of it was just where I sat down and trying to get a better view for you guys. I'm not good at this. I didn't expect this. There we go. So, like everything that's inside, it took me a few days just to plan out, and like all of these little touches that you see, like all of that is, God, I'm stuck at this. Sorry, guys. All of that is like little strips of styrene tube. The chairs are The chairs are resin casted, and inside each of their seats, like inside the things, it's got a actual console system. It's got details on the floor. It's got actually a grip floor. It's really hard to make out. Johnny and Sue's cockpits move, and if I can get it, you can actually turn the steering wheels. Actually turn when you move them. The things raises and pulls out. This is really hard to do one-handed. Sorry. Like, I spent a lot of time over detailing them. The engines. And then if you flip it over, speaking of the Fortnite stands, they actually incorporate the same ball joint in the bottom that I had to actually build it around that, to where you'd be able to see the detail of, and still be able to have it to where these will snap into the glider stand for the Fortnite figures. So
That's awesome.
Jason,
yes.
is that how you had it displayed? You had 2 of those Fortnite stands?
Yeah, on my table. Yes.
Yeah. Couldn't remember. Hey, how did you make those rotors on the bottom?
Those are hand cut. I sat down with a circle and just I sat down with a circle template and I cut one, and then I sat down and I cut each individual one out of styrene and then began stacking them and rotated it around. I had to do like 4 of these to be able to get 3 or 4 that I liked. I had to do like a bunch of them. So by the time they came out, like that all is raised detail. Even though I originally wanted to have it lit, I thought this looked way better than just putting like clear plastic and having lights for them. So
That's awesome, Jason.
That's like 11 individual blades in each one of those circles. That's crazy.
And I will tell you, I about like one of them, I think it's the other one. I started putting them together and trying to keep it in a circle took way more effort than I wanted to. I ended up leaving out like the edge of each one and then cutting them to a circle shape after I got it done, because they just were not, they didn't want to stay lined up otherwise. So like it was one of those things where it took a lot of time, it took a lot of effort, and way more planning than I thought it was going to. Because the original one we built, which was at Jeremy's Galactus display, it's this big. It is a tiny little guy that is made for HeroClix that we built, and it was not. Scaling everything up was not fun. So, but it was it's worth it. I'm thrilled with it. It came out great. Now I just have to figure out what to do with them. So,
well, that's awesome. Amazing.
Yep. You guys got any new pickups? Anything else new? Anything cool?
Oh wait, we gotta see his angel too. Hang on, let me get big again here.
That was awesome.
Crazy.
Be not afraid.
And what were the starter the wings? Are those all? Did you start with something, or did you sculpt everything? What did you do?
It started as pieces, the body, and the set. This wing, that wing. They started as what is the creature from Harry Potter? I know Jess would know this.
Oh, the beak thing, whatever it is.
Yeah. Buckbeak. I think it's Buckbeak. I'm probably wrong, so correct me on it later. But it started as that, and then there's so many hand sculpted feathers on this thing, and it's not just sculpted on the front; it's sculpted on the back. Like all of that is hand sculpted feathers. There's eyes on the back of it. They're like everywhere. The more you turn, the more you're gonna find them. And then this was done using the eyes are done the way that you would do wax eyes for a wax museum, like the glass eyes they use. If this thing doesn't give you nightmares, I fail. It's just like.
Why doesn't your daughter carry that one around with her?
I don't know. I
You
don't
think you
know.
would?
It's not a creepy space monster, is my guess. I mean, I don't understand. She does what she does. I love her for it. So she's nuts. Kids are crazy.
So for
That's the best
reference,
way.
this was the original. When Jason talks about it being tiny, this was the original influence for when he did his Fantastic
Yeah.
art. Was he built this scratch to go with Galactus for different scaling purposes? So this is the original, and there was some. I've got to re-glue some guys based off of damage from traveling.
No.
But I mean, you look at him taking this idea and then expanding it up to this is what 1/172nd scale,
Something
and he
like that. Yeah.
expanded it up to 1/12 scale.
Yeah. That's cool.
I'll have to fix it next time I come over.
Oh, I got it. It's fine.
I was personally stoked. I reached out to Hottest Fuzz Customs, and he actually made the original web gear. I haven't picked it up yet. It hasn't been shipped out yet. But the original web gear for Flint Classified, which you guys know I'm a huge fan of Flint. That's my favorite character. So I just ordered that from him. That's going to be shipped out soon, I guess. Can't wait to get that. I'll bring it to the next meetup. You guys should definitely check his stuff out.
What was his name again?
It's Tyler. It's Hottest Fuzz.
Okay.
Hottest Fuzz Custom. He does awesome
Hot
work.
Fuzz Custom.
Yeah, Hot Fuzz. That's right.
What else did I pick up? I got one more jumbo to show off. I picked up Bosk this week. 12-inch figure.
Nice.
A good pillow.
We can snuggle with that one at bedtime.
That's another one
Yeah.
of the figures from when I was a kid. The original.
Yeah, you're a big fan of Bosk with your little bounty hunter ship there, right? I have the same thing. But I got this guy on eBay, which he's one of the more expensive ones. He didn't come with his gun though, so it's just but it was okay price for what it was. Another one of my pickups.
Chris, when are we leaving for Legion's Con? Like, are we leaving Friday morning?
What is it? Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, I'll take that Friday off and we'll drive down there. I got the hotel for Friday and Saturday.
So, because Brian just put in the chat, Duart Studios, he's gonna have his studio open for the week leading up to Legion's Con. So if we got down there, Brian Duart Studios, he's gonna have his studio open for the week, with invites to go down and check it out. So if we can,
minutes. God bless you, man.
That's cool. That's a good
His stuff is so good. My parents were blown away by his work. Really, just blown away.
Dude, when I saw him coming in with the Mortal Kombat pit, I was like, all right, well, this is over. Like, this is just insane. And then the fact that I didn't even put together until after the show that all the Mortal Kombat figures were Mythic Legions.
Oh yeah.
I boom.
Yep. So good.
I didn't even realize that until you just said something.
Yep, it was so good.
It's insane.
For those of you guys watching the dioramas, we had 0 entries last year aside from Rusty with his temple diorama. So we didn't think we were going to get any dioramas.
I definitely won.
We didn't know. So we had to go from one diorama last year to a whole 30 feet of them or whatever. It was pretty cool.
I thought it was going to be empty tables again, and
the
opposite.
So that was a pleasant surprise for us that you brought everything, and all the other people who brought them too. It's great.
Yeah, the turnout was awesome this year. Not just the guests, but the vendors that came. They brought their A game.
Yeah, just a shout out to a couple of vendors here. Obviously Four Horsemen Studios, Jeremy and Chris, Valaverse Toys, Bobby Vala, again, great job there. Detour Customs, Steph, who is a friend of the show that we love.
Stuff is awesome.
Chris Berdanka Art, Lone Wolf Labs, Duarte Studio, who we just talked to, Kirk, Jared Middleton, and Sweetheart Harley was with him as well. Dork Lair, our friend Bill, who we all know. Actually, Dork Lair, too, took an amazing video of the G.I. Joe diorama. So if you guys want to see more of that, go to Dork Lair on Instagram. He's got that posted. The Comic Cork guys who've been with us for a couple of years now. Glow Figures, Greg, who was very generous. He brought up some backlights. I don't know if you guys noticed. He put them on the stage. Some portable battery-operated backlights because he does lighting. So that was awesome for Glow Figures.
Oh, that's cool.
Also, Toy Father and No Chewing, our friends Chris Way and Sunti. The Toy Daddies, Yimbo Reviews Everything. Our own Fiendish Figure Workshop, Jason, who's been with us today. Awesome. AKA Hooded Figure Collector, God of War Customs, Hidden Level Toys, Geeky Dennis as well. And then just a couple of the other attendees that came out. Matchu Toys was there, 978 Customs, One Out Customs, Articulated Ninja, 1/6 Shooter, Milo from Empire Toy Shop. I buy a bunch of stuff from him too. Check out his website if you're looking for G.I. Joes or Marvel figures. He's got a lot of stuff that's sold out other places. So those are just some of the cool vendors and attendees that came this year. Just want to thank everyone for showing up and bringing their A game.
Yeah. I wish I got to see more of everything. I got so caught up in all the conversations with people. I was just kind of, everybody had such awesome things to say, and there was just such a huge level of talent there. I was just picking people's brains the entire time. It was awesome.
Legends. I forgot to mention Almighty again. With his, I supported that Kickstarter. So
Day one.
if there's anyone I forgot too, guys, throw it, right? Because
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we wrap it up? I think we've been going almost 2 hours, so I think that was a good conversation. And for those of you guys watching the live stream afterwards, we do want feedback, so you could message Chris or any of us online, ideas for the show next year.
Red Wagon dioramas, all of these Star Wars dioramas in the display area by Red Wagon Dioramas, our own Dave. So big thanks to you as well, and all the work you did on the G.I. Joe diorama too, Dave. Really appreciate it. There were some late nights that we spent painting that thing and cutting that thing up.
Yeah.
So,
Dave, I literally would have not made it there without you.
Yeah, that's right. You're welcome.
Thank you for providing vehicles provided by dioramas.
Oh, man. Anyway.
Provided by Red Wagon Dioramas.
In this case, it was a white wagon, but we're good.
Yeah, that one worked. It worked well. So, I guess we'll just, any final words, guys? Just,
ChrisCon 24.
ChrisCon 24.
If for some reason you didn't make it this year, you better make it next year.
Yeah, get over here. Come on, see us. It's a lot of fun.
All right. Well, let's say goodnight, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate those in the chat, everybody who came to the show, who gave us feedback, and we hope to see a lot more people there next year. All right.
Bye, guys.
Hey, appreciate you. Thanks.
Good night.
Take care.
Have a good one, guys.
Good night, guys.